Hi there. Welcome to this lesson on Pure Mathematics 1. We're looking at simultaneous equations, and in this lesson we're looking at how you solve quadratic simultaneous equations. There are two methods for solving linear simultaneous equations. Only one of them really works when you have a more complex equation. Using substitution is the only method that really works. Elimination does not work well for these types of questions. Now, how do you use substitution? The first step is you find y in terms of x, or x in terms of y, in one of the equations. That means you get y or x on its own. You make y or x the subject of that equation. Once you've done that, whatever expression you have on the other side, you substitute that into the other equation, the second equation. You'll then get a quadratic equation. You solve that quadratic equation by the normal method to find two possible values for the first variable. Once you have those two values, you then substitute those into the easiest equation to find the other variable. Okay, I'll let you have a go at doing one of these yourself. In this example, I'm going to try and find y in terms of x in equation B and then work forwards from there. So if you want to be able to check your answer through with me, I suggest you do the same thing. Pause the video, come back to me when you're ready. Okay, let's have a look at these. So I said I'd use the second equation, B, because it's the simplest one. It's the easiest equation. And also, it's by far easier to find y in terms of x. All you have to do is move the 2x to the other side, and then you've got y written in terms of x. Y is 5 minus 2x. Once you've done that, you then substitute this expression into the other equation, wherever y is written down. Now, in this case, you've got x squared plus x. Y is just written once, so I need to write, instead of y, 5 minus 2x. And then you've got the equals 4. Then you multiply out the brackets to get that. Then you collect all the terms together. In this case, it's easier if you collect them on the right-hand side, and you'll get 0 equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. You can then solve that quadratic by any method you like. It's always a good idea just to see if it factorizes. This one does. Factorizes into x minus 4 times by x minus 1. So there'll be one solution when x minus 4 equals 0, which is x equals 4. And there'll be another solution when x minus 1 equals 0, which is x equals 1. Each of these values you then take independently, and you can substitute them back into any of these three equations. I've left this one in purple because this equation that we found, when we found y in terms of x, is always the best equation to choose at this point. So that tells us if we want to know what y is, we just do 5, take away double whatever x is. So if x is equal to 4, 5 take away 2x becomes 5 take away 8, and 5 take away 8 is minus 3. Then we do the same thing for x equals 1. If x equals 1, 5 minus 2x becomes 5 minus 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3. Do be careful how you write down the answer. Just write it down neatly, making it absolutely clear what the two solutions are. So there are two solutions, and the first one is x equals 4 when y equals minus 3, and the second solution is x equals 1 when y equals 3 plus 3. Okay, a second example. Two things are slightly different in this one. The first thing is there's a change of letters to A and B. People are often put off by that. A good test of how well you understand something in algebra is whether you're happy to use any letters whatsoever, and it feels just as easy to you. The other thing is there's no a squared, there's no b squareds. At first glance, you might think it's not quadratic. But because we've got a and b multiplied together in the second equation, it does become a quadratic. The way I'll be doing it is by finding a in terms of b from the first equation. So if you want to follow through with me, I suggest you do the same. Pause the video, come back to me when you're ready. Okay, we'll have a look at this. So I said I'd use the first equation and I'd find a in terms of b. That means I just had to move 3b to the other side of the equation, and that gives me a is equal to 2 minus 3b. I then substitute this expression into the other equation wherever a is written down. Now a is written here just before the b, so the second equation becomes 7 plus, and then instead of writing a, I write 2 minus 3b times by b equals 2. Then we multiply the brackets, and that will give you that. We'll collect terms, and again, it's easier if you collect them on the right-hand side. That gives you 0 is 3b squared minus 2b minus 5. Always check to see if you can factorize it, and again, you can factorize this one. You'll get b plus 1 times 3b minus 5. Two possibilities. If the first bracket equals 0, that means b is equal to minus 1. If the second bracket is equal to 0, that means b is equal to 5/3. We then take each of these values independently and work out what a is equal to. We can use any of the three equations, but the one here in purple, the one we worked out, is always the best one to use. It says if you want to know what a is, it's equal to 2 minus 3b. So if b is equal to minus 1, 2 minus 3b becomes 2 plus 3. Minus 3 times by the minus 1 becomes plus 3. That gives us a is 5. If b equals 5/3, 2 minus 3b becomes 2 minus 15 over 3. 15 over 3 is just 5. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So there's two answers. Just be careful how you write them down. The two solutions are a equals 5 and b equals minus 1, or a equals minus 3 and b equals 5/3. That gets us to the end of this lesson. If you have the textbook, go to page 39 and have a go at exercise 3b. Thank you very much for listening, and cheerio.